It could be a one-on-one, or it could be in a large group, okay? My experience is that when I engage with my patients, I ask them questions and I listen to what they have to say, even if they're not talking. Well, how is that done, right? That engagement involves listening, which is the most important communication skill that we possess today. It's more important to listen and to observe what's going on than it is to talk. Because most of the time when you're talking, you're not listening. So whenever I do an evaluation or assessment with them, the first thing I want to do is I just want to look at them. I just want to see what their body is telling me. Are they in pain? Are they suffering from something that I don't know about yet? So I just observe at first. And I listen with my heart and my mind. And if you really want to connect and engage with someone, you listen intently to what they're saying and to what they're not saying. That is engagement. Then you get to my favorite part. Some people can really agree of that engagement is that you ask the questions. Well, how do you know what questions to ask? You ask the questions that you would want someone to ask you, right? Open-ended questions, not the ones that you can say, yes, how are you doing today? Are you doing okay? No, what was it? Did you have a good day? Yes. But you ask the questions, how are you feeling today, so that they will have to give you an answer to that. Or what do you think the most important thing in your life is right now? I'm like, wow, I don't know. Well, you will spark something in them that will have them thinking, and then you can communicate to them more effectively because now you have got inside of their thought process. And that's what you want to do. You want to get inside their thought process by asking the questions. When I first came up here, I asked a question, right? What was that question that I asked you?
Better relationships.
How many of you would like to have better relationships and more effective communication? Right? And you thought about, what'd you think about? Wow, I would like to have better relationships in my work, in my life, right? So I sparked that thought in your mind that created that for you to get to the next point, which is the relationship. Now, number 3, you say, okay, this is about relationships. Why is relationships on there? Because the relationship could happen very soon, or the relationship can happen over time. But however it happens, you're going to establish that relationship from the beginning, okay? Your relationship is just being there with them and giving some attention, believe it or not. That is a start of the relationship, okay? When you ask the question, you give it the engagement, then you build a relationship. That relationship is going to move to the next part that really opens up your relationship. Does that make sense? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm working with my patient, they don't know who I am. They just know that I'm a therapist and I'm there to take care of them. When I build a relationship with them, I ask them questions and I get to know them better. I say, how many children do you have? They say, oh, I have 3 kids. Where are you from? Oh, I'm from New York City. And guess what I say? Guess what? I'm from New York City, right? You establish a rapport with them, something that you can identify that person with. Whenever I used to work in home health, and I would go into patients' homes and have to do therapy with them. And I'm very observative. I walk in and I smell things and I look at things because there's a lot of things to smell and look at. But I always, right? Sometimes they're good smells and sometimes they're not. I'm telling you, you'll be surprised what you get when you go into other people's homes. They're not as clean as maybe you may kept, or sometimes they're better. But one of the things I always look to do, and this is what you can do with anyone, to really establish the rapport, even if it's 10 seconds or 5 seconds, you try to find a commonality, okay? So women are really good at this. They break down this barrier really fast. What they do is they say, oh wow, Leslie, where'd you get those shoes? I love those shoes. That's awesome, right? So what do? I just gave you something to make you feel good about yourself. And now you're going to engage with me because you're going to be like, oh, thank you. Yeah, I got them from Neiman Marcus. They're on sale. So I automatically found a commonality. I built a relationship. I go into the homes and I look for a picture. I look for something that identifies with their life, something memorable. Do they play a sport? Do they play an instrument? Whatever that might be, I try to seek that out so I can automatically break down this barrier to that communication that I'm going to really need to have. So when you're listening to me, think about how you can use this in your everyday life. You can apply this every day. Guys, you want to connect with a female, what do? You tell them, hey, that looks really nice what you have on. Wow, can I get that for, I was looking, maybe you can make a story. Hey, I want to get that for my sister. Like, oh yeah, I got this from, Macy's and like something. Oh, that's beautiful lipstick. I mean, you do it in an appropriate way, but that's a way to kind of open up the door, right? To getting in, finding that commonality. Now, this part, number 4, is my favorite to the communication, is the storytelling. Now, why is storytelling important to networking and building communication? Why is that important? To tell a story, right? I call it story selling. When you tell a story, you automatically bring people into your life. Automatically. If you tell a story, you told a story about that you have 3 kids. I think boys. Am I right? And you said that you want to work hard and you want to establish something in your life. I'm just using you for an example because I remember that you can leave a legacy for them. That they don't have to go through the same thing that you had to go through. You told a story about your life and how you grew up in New York City and that you had to live a hard life of the city and drugs. And I remember her story. Well, people remember